a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build that bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrows, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark cold place, no more fear, no more fight. Let the sun walk on the way, shine, shine. Let the sun walk down the way, shine, 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 shine. getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for a new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. It's always good to getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for a new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend, the sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all the dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We'd like to thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Before we start, we'd like to share a couple of announcements. Our meeting will have 30 minutes presentation following by question and answers. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with the passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. So we also would like to invite you to participate with us our free course online, Get to Know Spiritism. We have every Saturday starting 5:15 p.m. in East hour. So everybody is welcome to join us to do a fill it up the inscription and join with us those moments learning about spiritism. So everybody is invited to. We also would like to invite you to follow us in Facebook and Instagram, Spiritism Canada, YouTube, and also uh, um, also the Path of Way in Instagram. Okay, we also today we're gonna have a presentation, but before, like always, we do a prayer for opening our meeting. So I'd like to ask you, invite you to join us if it's possible to feel comfortable. Close your eyes and think about the Jesus Christ. Open his arms and hugging us in feeling these energies. Let's say thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here tonight. Join this group. I'd like to ask you a permission to start and also permit the good spirits to be with us. So be it very good. Tonight we have our brother Rodrigo Gomez, and he's going to talk about the Gospel according to Spiritism and the chapter 5, Melancholy. Blessed are the afflicted, items 24 to 31st. So let's welcome you, Rodrigo. But before, also, I forgot to say, this transmission is alive right now, but you can follow us. Is our Tuesday in this time, like I said, 8:30, and but also we have retransmitted these meetings on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. PDT, 7 p.m. CDT, and 8 p.m. EDT on the Facebook of Kardec Radio and also YouTube Kardec Radio. And now I'd like to say welcome, Rodrigo.
Hi, Publio. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm okay, Rodrigo. How are you? How's everything there in Ottawa?
Oh, everything is great here. How about Toronto?
Beautiful day, sunny day, but still cold.
Oh, yeah,
But we have a more important thing to talk about tonight is the
exactly.
melancholy.
Yes,
So
thank you.
feel free and welcome to this room and we can start, my friend.
Thank you, Publio. Thank you all for having me this tonight. I will be talking, as Publio said, about the Gospel according to Spiritism. And tonight you'll be the chapter 5, following this sequence of talkings. Blessed are the afflicted, items 24 to 31st. And the main topic of today is melancholy. And to start, I will bring the information from item 24, when we will start understand a little bit about true misfortune. In this topic, and this item, we have the information about everyone talks about misfortune, all have experienced it and believe they know about its multiple character. And for sure, when we see many things happening around us, we directly think about misfortune. And I'm talking about poverty, a fireless chimney, an early death of a child, a creditor who is knocking our door, right? A situation about betrayal and bearing of the pride and the haggard of vanity. All those situations, they can be for sure interpreted as misfortune. But today, under the lens of the Spiritist teachings, I like to invite you to see a little bit beyond of that, those situations, and we can start um, agreeing, right? We can agree with those items saying they are for sure misfortune, but under the lens of spirits, we may start ending with a different idea. And here I have a question to start where we can see what is the real misfortune. And I like to maybe change a little bit this here and change what for another one saying when. When is the real misfortune? Misfortune truly be found in the consequences of our acting. Because normally, again, we see those situations and we think, okay, this is misfortune. But maybe the misfortune we are seeing now can be an opportunity of changing. We can be facing problems as an opportunity of getting more from this life and solving problems. And when we see a very happy event, maybe that event can be connected to a terrible consequences. For example, when we see this image, right? Maybe when we see this, someone hiding like corruption or any problem, and those people, they can be happy on that time because they have money, they have power. But then we, at least right now, we are not seeing the future. And my question also is, what will be the consequence? Materially, in this world, maybe it's a positive consequence about getting some material things, right? Some possessions. But then we can understand this is a very, very short future for all of us because we are spirit beings. And if you look a little bit on front, if you look beyond this life, then we will be able to judge the real situation, the real misfortune. In order for one to judge something, we must look to the consequences. That is why, in order to determine what is really fortune or misfortune, one must be transported beyond this life because it is there that the consequence will be felt. And then we can start discussing things a little bit different because At now, maybe we have a negative situation coming from the past. But if you leave this one with perseverance, probably our future will be very positive. But the same thing can happen if you have a very bad attitude here in the present. The consequences also can be very, very disappointed. Misfortune are the joy, the pleasure, the turmoil, the empty agitation, and the insane satisfaction of vanity that silence the conscience, oppress the action of thought, and confuse people about their future. Misfortune is the opium of the forgetfulness that you ardently desire. And maybe here we can start asking ourselves what we want, what we need, and what we do. Because then we can start seeing misfortune under a new form, under a beautiful and colorful form that you will desire and welcome with all your strength, and then you will see all that deluded situation. Because unfortunately, we are not opening our eyes for to see the real life, the spiritual one. We are not addressing our spiritual needs first, as recommended by Jesus. And then we start getting some advice from the spirits. Have hope, you who weep. Tremble, you who laugh, because your body is satisfied. We do not dodge our destiny. Well, absolutely, we are not saying all the happiness have a bad consequence. For sure not. But we need to understand our attitude, right? What we are really doing in order just to get results on this moment, on this life we are having. And then sometimes to do that, in order to get those results, we start losing it. We start doing wrong things. We don't measure any consequences. But they will come to us at some point, because as the spirits are saying, we do not dodge our destiny. Then they say, you will act like a brave soldiers who, instead of running away from peril, prefer the battles of brave combat to the peace that will bring them neither glory or promotion. Well, we may have faced right now, or we are about to face some difficulties, right? That's life. We are dealing with those transformations who will demand some patience, some understanding, some humility, and we should not escape from that. We should not run from it. In other words, I love the expression who said, we should face the music, right? We should face the consequences. And then this idea about being brave, going to this battle, and this battle is start inside of us with our choices. I know it's hard nowadays. Sometimes we say, oh, I cannot change differently. I am like this. I have this habit. But the time comes for a change. And the spirits always say that you just need a good will, strong will to do changings. It's upon you, those choices, the good and the bad ones. And every choice we made will bring consequences, good or bad. And we need to have the maturity to understand it in our projects. And then we come to the melancholy. I think at some point all of us experience that. And on the item 25th, we have the information from the Spirit saying, do you know why a vague sadness sometimes waits upon your hearts and makes you feel you find life so bitter? And they explain that because as the spirit beings, we want freedom. You want to be free. And our life, incarnated life, sometimes gives to us a lot of weight, difficulties, problems to face. And we see our life as a prison. And this prison, the prison we live, we need to put all efforts to have a successful life. And what I mean by that, we have to do our work with responsibility, not only our professional one, which is very important as well, but our work in our family, with our friends, and absolutely with the unknown who needs our help. Following the idea about love our neighbors as ourselves. And then doing so, all this work, we can transform this melancholy in something much better, in happiness. And then the transformation will start because we'll be we are start getting the consequence, the positive consequence of our acting. And they say, believe me, and strongly resist these feelings that weaken your willpower. What feelings? That sadness, right? And he said, the winnings for a better life are innate in the spirit of all humans, but do not seek them in this world. And what he's trying to tell us in this word, he's telling us about the material world. This world is full of many contrasts, where we'll be happy today, maybe unhappy tomorrow. We'll face good and bad situations, and they are all amazing opportunities for us to learn. And but there will be something else, right? There will be another life coming where we'll be receiving the divine happiness reserved for us if we patiently wait with perseverance, deliverance, and then we can help ourselves to break the bond that hold us captive. In other words, patience is a virtue, very important virtue, not only for us today, but every day, dealing with problems, dealing with situations, other people, and above all, dealing with ourselves. Remember that during your trial on the earth, you have a mission that you cannot doubt. Whether in dedicating yourself to your family or whether in fulfilling the various obligations that God has entrusted you. Well, we all know that family, it's absolutely fundamental. Why is that? Because the family bonds us together with people, with spirits that we have to face again, because we have to help each other building our future. Sometimes we have unfinished business and we have to fix our past mistakes. And sometimes we are just together because we have a mission with each other. And also we build obligations. We have many. We have obligations, professionals, we have in our society, in our community, with our neighbor. Our life are full of obligations, and fulfilling those obligations will also be a very, very important part of this process. And we as a spirit beings, we should not forget the importance of remembering, right, that we'll be meeting people again. If you lost someone from our family, someone who's really beloved from us, it's sad, but we have to follow with our mission because we will find them again in another moment. We are infinity beings. We will be following our life in the material world, in the spiritual world, constantly, and then we'll have the opportunity of meeting them again. Then we have some questioning about voluntary trials on the item 26. You ask if it's permissible to mitigate your trials. Well, trials are meant to be engender intelligence as well as patience and resignation. Individuals may be born into a painful and difficult situation precisely to make them search for the means of overcome it. It means absolutely. And they say the question leads to this: is it permissible for those who are drawing to save themselves? For those who have a thorn to remove it? Or for those who are will to call a doctor? Absolutely. Our trials, our difficulties, they are also meant to be an opportunity for us to overcome it, to find solutions, to work together. And this is why our friends, our family, they are so important because we are all in this together. The merit also consists in bearing without complaint. And here it's a very important statement because maybe today we complain about something, right? It can be something who happened to us or something we anticipate because we are so good also in anticipate problems and suffering about it, right? And now it's time to create this merit about not complaining and trying to understand the consequences that cannot be avoided, but those consequences will be less painful if we are aware about they are just for now, just for this situation, maybe just for this life. And even this life, the full life, still nothing if you think about our destiny as immortal being, a immortal spirit. And facing them with courage is part of this process. This question, of course, leads to another. Since Jesus said, "Blessed are the afflicted," is there any merit in sinking afflictions, thereby increasing trials by means of voluntary suffering? And what they say about that? Yes, there is a great merit in such a suffering and privations if they are all meant to help people, right? If you wish the good for others and we are increasing our suffering to help them, absolutely, they have all the merit. But On the other hand, if this suffering is just for ourselves, for only our own good, then this is selfishness and sometimes even fanatism, right? Because if you just think about ourselves, if you just do things for our own good, we lost all the merits, all the benefits, and all the good consequences. Be content with the trials that God sends you and do not increase their burden, which is often already so heavy. Absolutely. See the world around you, around us. We are facing so many problems, so many difficulties in our personal life, in our community life, in our country. And then the first thing we have to think about it is to live our life with all the possibilities, optimism, good intention, doing the good thing. Accept all the situation faithfully without complaining. That is all God asks for you to do. Don't need to seek more difficulties. Trying to deal with the difficulties you already have. And then we can see a transformation. To needlessly weaken it is true suicide. Use it but not abuse it. Such is the law. The abuse of the bad thing bring its punishment in an unavoidable consequence. Don't weaken yourself. Trying opposite. Be strong. Trying to face the situations with courage and study it, trying to find solutions to improve your life. There is nothing wrong with that. Trying to live a better life, a successful one, it's very important. It's part of this life. The problem is if to get a successful position, a better job, if you make people suffering to do that, if you betray someone, if you mistake a process, then all the happiness actually is hiding the future consequence of problems. But other than that, if you're doing all right, if you're working hard, you have all the merit. Enjoy your life today as much as possible without hurting anyone. The suffering that one imposes on oneself for the relief of one's neighbor is something else. Well, if we can help other people, then we have a lot of merit. If you endure cold and hunger in order to warm and feed someone who is in need, and if your body suffers because of it, it is then a sacrifice that is blessed by God. There's no doubt about that. We should look for our happiness, absolutely, but if your heart has the positive energy to help others around us, absolutely we should do it. You who leave your fragrant home to go to an infected hovel to bring consolation, you who dirty your delicate hands to treat wounds, you who lose sleep to watch over the bedstead of a sick person who is only your brother or sister in God. All those attitudes have a great merit. In short, you who use your health in the practice of good deeds. Exactly. Transform the advantage you have And that can be material one, your health, your time to do something good to others without requesting anything in exchange. And believe me, if you do that, you will receive so much in return. Again, remember the consequences of the beginning of this talk. You receive a true and meaningful response for those people who are you helping. And this is priceless. And then we have a situation of people who trying to be away from the society, right? But you who retire from the world in order to avoid its seductions and to live in isolation, what is your usefulness? Yeah, and they are saying, where's your courage in trials since you run from the struggle and desert the fight? If you want penance, apply it to your own soul and not to your body. Mortify your spirit and not your flesh. Whip your pride, receive humiliation without complaint, flog your selfishness, and harden yourselves against the pain of insult and slander. More pungent than bodily pain, this is true self-punishment, whose wants will be taken into account because they will testify to your courage and submission to God's will. What what they are saying to us? Well, I know it's hard to live in society sometimes, but all those difficulties, all the challenge of living with other, it's an opportunity for you to improve yourself. Being away from it, yes, you will avoid conflicts, but you also lose all the learnings from those situations. And in the item number 27, we have, should we put an end to our neighbor's trial if we can, or should we let them take their course? Well, some think that because one is put on the earth of expiation, passing problems and difficulties, all trials must take their course. There are even those who want to make them worse, right? Because they think, okay, I can help with that. But, oh, they think there's nothing we can do because this is God's will. But this is actually the contrary. Because it's necessary for all of us to contribute to make a difference and not adding intensity of their suffering. And I can tell you, we should have much more empathy, empathy. I'm not talking about sympathy, empathy to our family and friends. And I will pass a short video about it, and then we can continue discussion about empathy and melancholy. Let's watch.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you climb down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no. You want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. Yeah. And we do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
I love so much this video because it's so hard today to be connected, to create this empathy, right? And I love when Dr. Brown say to connect to someone, we need to connect with ourselves first, right? And are we prepared to do these connections? Are we prepared to really listen? I learn a lot with this video because also make me a lot of reflection. And then coming back to the trials, sometimes we think our trials must take the course marked out by God. But we know that. We know what the course is for ourselves or even for the others. We may think this can go right here or in another way. But learning about empathy, we should always be concerned, doesn't matter the path, but trying something who can bring us happiness and also happiness to the other people. This is the difference, right? On 28, we have another question. A man is dying, the victim of cruel suffering. His state is known to be hopeless. Would it be permissible to save him a few moments of anguish by hastening his end? And the answer is no matter how extreme the conditions of a dying person, no one can say with certainty that his or her final hours has arrived. Has science never been wrong in its prediction? And even though if it is the final time of that person, the last minute can be an opportunity in many ways. First of all, because now, or not now, but we know that life will be going on the spiritual world. The spiritual life will continue. In that last minute, maybe we are taken from that person could make a huge difference, could make a big change, and we can be stealing that moment. But us, as a spiritist, we know what happens beyond the grave, and we know the value of the last thought. So mitigating the final suffering as much as we can. Absolutely. But let's guard against shortening a life, even for only a minute. For that minute may save many tears in the future. Again, let's think about consequences. Are persons who are disillusioned with life, but who do not want to commit suicide, guilt for seeking death on the battlefield with the intention of making their death useful? Well, the reflection here is that it doesn't matter the proposal, right? If they're seeking death, if it's seeking shortening their life, still a suicide, and at least by intention, if not by fact. And if they want to do something, right? If they want to change something with their lives, the Spirit's recommendation is for us to preserve our life and work very hard every day to change things. And accept sometimes the life will be not, you'll be an illusion, right? Will be a disillusion. You'll be a complex. But this is part of it. And it's part of our transformation that we need to face. We need to accept that and do the best we can. A certain man exposes himself to imminent danger in order to save the life of a fellow being, knowing beforehand that himself will die. Would this be considered a suicide? Well, they say that from the moment in which there is no intent to seek death, there is no suicide, but devotion and self-denial, despite the certainty of dying. But again, who can say that? We saw many times a terrible situation, and on the very last moment, something suddenly changed. And that certainty about death becomes life. And what a feeling of victory for that specific person who give everything to someone to save someone and also receive the merit of stay a little bit longer on this life to continue his work. And the last item is another question saying, do not those who resignedly accept their suffering by submitting to God's will with an eye on their future happiness work only for themselves? And can they render their suffering profitable for others? Absolutely, the Spirit says. If we follow God's will, even if we are looking to our happiness in the future, looking for the positive consequences of our acting, our acting actually, like the sacrifice, the way we deal with problems with perseverance, always trying to be happy, always trying to mitigate the suffering, will be a good example to others. They will contribute to the material welfare of their neighbor, and morally, by the example they offer to their submission to God's will. This example of the power of the Spirit faith can encourage others to find the same path of resignation, humility, and save them from despair and disastrous consequences for the future. In other words, good attitude, good acting is contagious. If you are that person who is always trying to do good, always strong, always dealing with problems, people around you will notice. They will see it. and they will try and be close to you and understand what's different in your way to deal with things. And to finalize my talking tonight, I know we all know that, right? Jesus spoke in parables, not always completely intelligible for us, but he made uh, many perfect statements and absolutely clear about his importance. And because we are talking about his teachings every Tuesday and Wednesday in certain channels, I like to remind all of us about his word saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And this is why we should not lose any time anymore avoiding his teachings. We need to learn from him. And above all, we need to put in practice. Today, we are not be perfect on it, and this is okay. Because every time when we try do it, we will be a little bit better. And every step a little bit close to him in our acting. And I like to thank you all for this opportunity of talking, and I'm be very happy to answer any questions you may have.
Hello, Rodrigo. Your words were so clear, but even though give us the chance to think about, and I wrote questions for you. And the question is this one here. So, do we live in the present with misfortune as a consequence from the past? And also, we are building our future. So we live like three times specifically in the same like incarnation. The spirit, that's what spiritists teach us, right?
Thank you, Publio. This is a really amazing question. We live the present, right?
Yes.
The present is everything we have. But I completely understand your questioning because the present we live, we are receiving all the influence from the past, right?
Yeah.
And the faraway past from other lives and the current past for this life. The spirits say almost like all the consequences we are facing today, they are part of this life. And there is some for sure coming from the very past, from another lives. But amazing your question because absolutely, we are not living this present only to face the past, but must to build the future. And this is very reconforting for us because and make us we can feel calm about it because if you are not happy with our present because we are bringing bad attitude from the past, we can for sure start today doing good things because soon we will start receiving also the consequences of the good acting.
So we always face the consequence of our actings, like even the past, like the past year or the past incarnation, but always we have the consequence of our acts. What I mean is like if I do good today, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna see someone say, "Oh, thank you for things that you did last week," right? So we are building our future every single day, every single minute. So this is reconforting, like you said, because it make us to think, okay, if I'm doing something bad, like you said, the bad bring us consequences too, and this incarnation and another ones too. So the Spiritist gave us this light so we can build a better days for us, right? That's
Exactly. We with the spirituals teachings, we have the advantage because we can see the consequences not only now but also in our future spiritual life, right? And exactly, we start to understand that we are in the middle of a process, past and future, and we have the power because we have the present to change things, and we can do it right now. And maybe tomorrow we're still feeling the past coming, right? Because this will be always. But as long as we keep changing it to good, soon we will start seeing. And the most important, because we have a very limited vision as incarnated beings, we are not seeing the full picture of the consequences of our acting for good and for the bad. And maybe today we treat someone very well, simple person, but we don't know all the transformations that simple act can change, can do it with that person's life and move on, because maybe that amazing day we give to that person can also be an amazing day for other and other, and we cannot see all the consequences, but we will receive that back at some point, and this is really really amazing.
Well, it's amazing. But we're going to have another opportunity to study more about that, right, Rodrigo? Especially in the course on Saturdays, online course. Everybody is welcome. And we study this subject and another ones too. Do you remember what we're going to learn next weekend?
Exactly, yeah, we have a course every Saturday at starting 5:30 EDT. And the next topic will be the polarity of inhabited worlds. And we also study like reincarnation, discarnation, um, spiritual, perispiritual body. There is amazing topics to
Topics.
discuss.
Okay. Would like to say thank you very, very much for your words. Was very helpful, and I hope everybody can use those opportunities to build a better future for us. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna start our spiritual treatment. But before, we would like to preparate, and we're gonna let you know what does it mean, the treatment. The treatment is composed with the pass. What is the pass? Pass is a transfusion of spiritual energy, assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. We also have the benefit of this spiritual treatment is a very powerful moment when we get those energy coming from the spiritual world, and we can follow the audio that's going to be soon passed here, and we can just remain in prayer. You can also close your eyes, that help you to mentalize the good vibes, the good energies in the metallization. We also have magnetized water. That means water receive healing energy for our body and soul, which your family and you can be benefit from. So set aside a container of water, a cup, or in any container of water for these moments. So, to begin that spiritual treatment, we're going to do a prayer, and also inform that after these prayers come with mentalization, the spiritual path, and it's the end. So, let's start. Let close your eyes, find a place that is comfortable for you. Close your eyes and imagine this moment, a very beautiful place with green grass, little flowers, multicolors. And in this place, we can see our Master Jesus Christ. coming toward us. So let's take this moment, say thank you, Lord, for the good opportunity that we had tonight to learn about Spiritism, learn about your love, learn about your teachings. And also, sir, would like to ask a permission for the good spirits coming to us in these moments and stay with us now and forever. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, Imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
So we'd like to thank you, everybody, to participate with us tonight, and invite you to come back on next Tuesday. And everybody has a wonderful night and a wonderful week. Be with God always. Heaven.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. Here with all our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. And this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.